Everyone knows the DeLorean DMC-12. It's the time-traveling, gull-winged icon from Back to the Future that captured the imagination of millions. But behind the stainless steel glamour and Hollywood magic lies a much darker, more complicated story. A story of ambition, politics, and catastrophic failure. Most people think John DeLorean's downfall and the collapse of his car company was all about that infamous FBI sting. But the truth is, the DeLorean was doomed long before the headlines screamed about drugs. The real story starts not in a California courtroom, but in a troubled factory in Belfast, Northern Ireland, during a period of intense civil unrest known as the Troubles. John DeLorean, a renegade genius who had risen through the ranks of General Motors, had a revolutionary vision. He wanted to build an ethical sports car. A car that was safe, long-lasting, and fuel-efficient, all wrapped in a futuristic stainless steel body. To bring this dream to life, he needed a factory, and he needed money. Lots of it. After being turned down by several countries, he found a surprisingly eager partner in the British government. They were desperate to create jobs in West Belfast, an area hit hard by unemployment and sectarian violence. They believed that a state-of-the-art car factory could bring stability and hope to the region, employing both Catholics and Protestants under one roof. The government offered DeLorean a staggering package, eventually totaling over £100 million in grants, loans, and guarantees. It was an unprecedented deal, a massive gamble on one man's vision. With the funding secured, a sprawling factory was built in record time in Dunmurry, a suburb of Belfast. But from the very beginning, the project was plagued with problems. DeLorean had originally planned to use cutting-edge technology and a novel manufacturing process called ERM. But with immense pressure to get cars rolling off the line quickly, these innovative ideas were abandoned. Instead, DeLorean turned to Colin Chapman, the legendary founder of Lotus, to completely re-engineer the car. Chapman's team essentially threw out most of the original design and started from scratch, using Lotus's existing engineering principles. This caused massive delays and sent costs spiraling. The car that was supposed to be a marvel of new technology ended up being a hastily assembled collection of parts from other vehicles, all squeezed under that iconic stainless steel skin. And then there was the engine. The heart of any sports car. DeLorean had promised a powerful, efficient engine, but what the DMC-12 got was anything but. The chosen power plant was the Peugeot Volvo V6, or PRV engine. Developed jointly by the three companies, it was known for being reliable but was notoriously underpowered. In the DeLorean, it produced a measly 130 horsepower. This meant the car looked like a futuristic supercar but performed like a sluggish family sedan. It struggled to go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 10 seconds, a far cry from the performance figures of its competitors like the Porsche 911 or the Chevrolet Corvette. The dream of a high-performance sports car was dead on arrival. When the first cars finally started rolling off the production line in 1981, the problems only got worse. The workforce in Belfast was largely inexperienced in car manufacturing. They were hardworking and eager, but building a complex vehicle with unique features like gull-wing doors and an unpainted stainless steel body proved to be a monumental challenge. Quality control was a nightmare. Early models were riddled with issues. The gull-wing doors, a signature feature, often leaked or got stuck. Electrical systems were notoriously unreliable, and the stainless steel panels, which were supposed to be a low-maintenance dream, showed every single fingerprint and were incredibly difficult to repair if dented. The fit and finish of the cars were simply not up to the standard expected for a premium-priced vehicle. DeLorean had to set up quality assurance centers in the United States just to fix the defects on the cars arriving from the Belfast factory before they could even be sent to dealerships. This added even more cost and delays to an already hemorrhaging operation. The car's reputation began to suffer almost immediately. But perhaps the biggest nail in the DeLorean's coffin was simply bad timing. The car launched right in the middle of a severe economic recession in the United States. Interest rates were sky-high, and the market for expensive luxury toys had all but evaporated. The DeLorean's original target price was around $12,000, which is why it was called the DMC-12. By the time it actually hit the showrooms, the price had ballooned to over $25,000. That's more than a brand new Corvette at the time. People who might have bought the car as a novelty simply couldn't afford it. Dealerships that had eagerly signed up to sell the futuristic vehicle found themselves with lots full of expensive, slow, and often faulty cars that nobody wanted to buy. Sales were a fraction of what was projected. The company was burning through cash at an alarming rate, producing thousands of cars but selling very few. The massive factory in Belfast was building cars that were going straight into storage. By early 1982, the DeLorean Motor Company was in a death spiral. It was massively in debt, and the British government, having already poured in a fortune, refused to provide any more funding unless DeLorean could find a matching private investor. John DeLorean was desperate. His dream was collapsing around him. He scrambled to find a financial savior, but the company's dire situation and the mountain of unsold cars made it an impossible sell. This is the crucial context for what happened next. With the company on the brink of bankruptcy and creditors closing in, John DeLorean was approached by an old acquaintance who, unbeknownst to him, was now a federal informant. The informant presented a scheme that seemed like a lifeline. A way to generate the millions of dollars he so desperately needed to save his company. It was this desperation that led him into the now famous FBI sting operation. The arrest and subsequent trial became a media circus, forever linking the DeLorean name with scandal. But by the time of his arrest in October 1982, the company was already finished. The receivers had been called in, the Belfast factory had been shut down, and the dream was over. While John DeLorean was eventually acquitted of all charges on the grounds of entrapment, the damage was done. His reputation was shattered, and the company was liquidated. The DeLorean story isn't a simple tale of a high-flying executive brought down by greed. It's a tragedy of ambition, hubris, and terrible circumstances. A poorly engineered car with an underpowered engine, abysmal build quality, and a launch price that was double the original target, all released into a brutal recession. These were the real reasons the DeLorean failed. The drug scandal was just the sensational final chapter of a book that was already written. It didn't kill the company, it just buried the body. The DeLorean DMC-12 lives on as a cultural icon, a symbol of 80s nostalgia and cinematic adventure. But its real story is a powerful lesson in how even the most brilliant vision can be destroyed by a perfect storm of poor execution, bad luck, and overwhelming desperation. Thank you for watching. If you found this story interesting, consider subscribing to my channel, Ude Repo, for more deep dives into fascinating histories.